Churchill Resources is a junior exploration company. We're focused in Newfoundland and Labrador, and we're specifically looking for high-grade nickel sulphide, which is different from many companies that we see in Canada. But we are very focused on something in the north of 1% nickel sulphide. We have a significant project in Taylor Brook now that we have uncovered over the last couple of years. It's a large magmatic intrusive complex, which we have confirmed absolutely through geophysics. It's about 13 kilometers long, and it hosts high-grade nickel sulphide. We know that, and we're now hunting and trying to find the structural traps where we'll get width and grade. So we have two. Both of them, we licensed them from Altius. We now have 100% of both. Taylor Brook is on the island of Newfoundland and the western limb, about an hour from Deer Lake. The other is in Labrador, south of Voisey's Bay, called Florence Lake. Florence Lake was formerly a Falcon Bridge project. It is much further behind than Taylor Brook is, largely because Taylor Brook in Newfoundland has year-round access. We're drilling at the moment, where Florence Lake is a more seasonal project, and we won't get back there until probably April, May of this year. We have been bringing to bear geophysics, geochemistry. We've run an enormous amount of all of that. We're now drilling. We're in the middle of a 5,000 meter drill campaign. Initially, Taylor Brook was a discovery called Leyden. And that turns out that was at the top end and the north end of this trend that's 13 kilometers long. That's where we've been focused. We've been bringing techniques like CSAMP, which is resistivity survey, to help us identify targets beneath us. It's been very successful. It was able to map out very accurately the large gabbroic intrusion that's beneath us down about 1 kilometer. And within that, we've been able to identify the resistivity lows within that body, and that allows us, those are the targets that we've been drilling over the last little while. We have drilled about half a dozen holes to date. On this campaign, we got more to go. And I can tell you that we now have a strike length of about 1.2 to 1.3 kilometers between where we have encountered mineralization. In the majority of the holes that we have drilled to date, we have intersected tens of meters and up to hundreds of meters of mineralized breccia at depth. And that is very encouraging to us. That tells us we are possibly proximal to a high-grade massive sulphide zone, which is really what we're after here. Interestingly, that money all came from investors in Africa, which is quite a turn of events, I think, investing into Newfoundland. But they're very, very excited by Newfoundland being number 4 on the Fraser Institute most favorable mining jurisdictions in the world. So it's a great place to be, and they get that part. That has funded our CSAMP. We flew an MT survey of the entire property recently, which is also a resistivity survey, airborne over the whole property. And that's what's led us to confirm that we have this gabbroic body. It stretches 13 kilometers all the way down to the south lobe of the Taylor Brook gabbro and into the south lobe of that gabbro, right on the tectonic margin, the edge of the Canadian Shield, which is exactly the geologic setting you want to be in. So it's confirming all of that. We have a 5,000 meter drill program. We're halfway through it, so it's funding all of that. So the money will get us through the program. We should be finished drilling by the end of February, I think. And we are hopeful that the results that we are going to be generating, and we haven't press released anything. We have a core in at the lab to be assayed. We don't have any of those results as of yet. But we are highly encouraged that this is a district size play. This play has scale to it that most other projects do not have. It's brand new, and it is in a location where we have, first of all, it's a very friendly location for mining. Okay, you don't have a bunch of NGOs running around. We've got year-round access. We have services. We have skilled labor. We have hydroelectric power lines going overhead. We have tidewater access. There's a hydromet facility owned by Vale just outside of St. John's, for example. So this is a very attractive place to hopefully discover a new high-grade nickel sulfide mine. I think what we will do at the end of this campaign, we will step back. There's a lot of data to be put together, a lot of geophysical data. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and that'll take us a month or two, probably, March through April. And then we expect to come back with a further drill campaign. Hopefully, we can ramp it up to something like 10,000 meters. The drillers that we have are excellent. They make very rapid progress. They're really good. We're drilling for about $250 a meter at the moment. So at the end of the day, this is all about the tried and true method, which is drill and pulse. So we've got right now, the drill crew knocked off for 10 days yesterday, and we bring in the downhole EM guys who then come in and survey the hole. So that's happening starting today for the next 10 days. Then the drillers will be back again, and we'll see what the downhole EM, but that's really how you identify conductors, which are really your ultimate target. High-grade nickel sulfide doesn't take so many tons. So for example, Ring of Fire was about 20 million tons of 1.5% nickel sulfide, and it traded for $600 million. I would suggest if we had 20 million tons of 1.5% nickel sulfide where we are, it would be 2 or 3 times that valuable because of the location. Also, when you're looking for high-grade nickel sulfide, you have to keep in mind that so much of this is being driven by the whole theme around electric vehicles and electrification. Truthfully, high-grade nickel sulfide is agnostic to that. There'll be very high demand for a new high-grade nickel sulfide mine in Canada. You can see by what's happened recently with CNC and FPX nickel, the money that's been going in there. Those are low-grade deposits, but I think perceived to be nearest to production possibly. And companies are saying, we want to be exposed to Canadian nickel sulfide projects. We want to be in Canada. So notwithstanding the price, which is depressed at the moment, largely because of Indonesia and the HPAL that's coming out of Indonesia. But as they say, the cure for lower prices is lower prices. So that's where we're at the moment. And it hits sentiment, there's no doubt. But from a prospectivity point of view and our project, it's really not that relevant. Well, I think one has to keep in mind, there's a big difference between 0.25 and 2.5. When Mother Nature concentrates it for you, you're starting off with a better product. So, when it comes to the electric vehicle, the rollout of the electric vehicle is going to continue to happen. It's not going to happen, the curve is not going to be as steep as people thought it was. There's still some challenges to be met, but there's a good future for nickel because of its inherent ability as to store energy and give vehicles range. That's really what it boils down to. So we think we are one of the few companies that are on a district scale play in a great jurisdiction that is looking for high-grade nickel sulfide, which will have terrific value. And our challenge now is to take the 3 or 4 meters of high-grade nickel sulfide that we've had in multiple locations and use the results of the holes we're drilling at the moment in a downhole EM, and hopefully that this brecciation, this mineralized brecciation that we're running into many of these holes are all signs that we're getting closer to the engine here. And if we do, Churchill will be on the map in a big way.